Whoso lives with the Creator is free. There is no need for a man's government, for they practice righteousness, peace, love, industry and wisdom, with due regard for one another. Such is the Father's kingdom on earth, in which there shall be no laws made by man, neither shall there be leaders or rulers. The progress of man is toward this. The progress of the governments of man should shape towards such a consummation. The time was when laws were requisite unto all things, even to the manner of a man coming in and out of a house, and to every occupation that followed, with licenses and taxes regulating them. The time of apprenticeship to a barber, to a weaver, a lawyer, a preacher, a physician, and to all other trades and occupations, with examinations and passports and diplomas, to practice within the king's dominions, with rates for fees and rights and privileges. But these laws and governments were for the past eras. They were righteous in the first place, for they shaped man's judgment toward perfecting himself. But behold, a new time is in the world. From the acquisition of knowledge, a new liberty has been born into the world, and it cries out on every side, "Throw open the doors to all trades and occupations. Behold, the multitude are sufficiently wise to judge themselves as to who they shall patronize." Judgment is rendered against the laws and governments of man in all cases where they prevent the liberty and choice of a man to his vocation and knowledge. It is not sufficient for you to say, "Behold, the public will be taken advantage of by ignorant pretenders." You have no right to say what the public will suffer, and thus base a law on prospective damage. When the public has suffered, and when they themselves demand protection by such laws, then shall such laws be made. To make such laws beforehand is to sin against the Creator. It was said of old, "Thou shalt keep holy the Sabbath day," and it was defined what a man should not do on that day. Judgment is rendered against that law. Nevertheless, I put aside not the practice. But the time hath now come when a man shall judge himself as to whether he will or will not keep any day sacred. Moreover, man shall not from hereforth be accountable as to whether he keep or he keep not any day as a sacred day. Yet this accountability shall be unto all men, whether they fulfill in wisdom and righteousness to their utmost capacities. There was a law of circumcision, but I render judgment against that law also, for it has fulfilled its time. This law I put aside in practice, but I give it as a permission to the adult, that he may or may not fulfill the circumcision according to his own judgment. Judgment is also rendered against infant baptism. I put aside this law also, and nevertheless, when a child is attained to 14 years of age, and it chooses of its own accord to be sprinkled with water, to conform to the rites and ceremonies, then that child shall be baptized, in the name of the Creator, but not in the name of the God, or any Lord, or Saviour, or an angel. This is wisdom, a man to have no law and government between man and wife. This is ignorance, to have a law between man and wife. Yet because there are bad men and bad women do marry, it has been found necessary to have a law between man and wife as regards their duties. But consider how wrong it is to have made a law between a good man and a good wife as regards their duties. Better is it for them to be thrown upon their own love and judgment. After such manner gave our governments and laws unto all the people. To the bad and evil-minded, rigid laws with many defaults, but to the wise and good I come now as an emancipator, saying, Go ye without laws and government, fulfill your destinies according to your own judgment, that ye may be an honour and glory to the Creator. In this age man shall no longer be driven in a yoke and harness. He shall stand upright before the Creator, practising his highest light with rejoicing, being a free man and brother to his God. Behold, the earth's people have a custom of eating bread, drinking wine, saying after the manner, Worshippers, eat this, my flesh. Judgment is rendered against this custom with abhorrence. God has never commanded man to eat flesh and blood, nor pretended that blood and wine bore any resemblance to bread. Also have the custom of decorating and draping themselves in crape and characterizing the same as a sign of mourning of the dead. Judgment is rendered against such a custom, but without prohibition. The Creator creates alive, and the Creator takes life away, for all things are His. Remember, you are created with wisdom, and neither in thy dress nor habit shall thou censure Him for what has been. Neither curb thou the full sorrow of your heart and soul, because your brother or sister or son or daughter or mother has passed away. But remember, the Creator is over all His works, and provides wisely to the living and to the dead. The Creator has said, to man I give an earthly body that he might learn earthly things, but death I gave to man that he might rise to inherit my heavenly kingdoms. He appoints a time unto all, to some an hour, to some a year, to some 100 years. Every one fulfills the result in wisdom and happiness, and for the glory of the Almighty.